I am sitting It is always nice to see you, la la. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How's everyone doing today? Hopefully we are feeling good. We've got some interesting things we're going to be looking at today, as opposed to yesterday. Bitcoin has finally made a play. But before we get into it, you're going to see there's a mic check. Mic check is good. Awesome. And camera check. Camera looks good. I'm looking good. Camera looks good. Microphone looks good. The chart actually looks good for a change. So let me just get rid of this alert. Okay. So first of all, how are we feeling, guys? How's everyone today? Let me just turn on all my stuff over here. We got the chat open to see who's alive. Oriane, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in this world. Welcome back. How you doing? Good to see you. All right, so we are live. Let me take a look at what is going on over here. Just setting up the live. Bear with me a couple of seconds, people. Okay, sweet. We are just about to be ready. Awesome. Okay, so what happened yesterday, guys? We saw something major happen. We found that price has come down over here, and this was since Sunday, actually. We found that price came down to this higher low, and we expected it to go higher simply because this was a clear move of like liquidity sweep, because it rejected perfectly on this higher low. So, you know, we were hoping to see that price is going to be going higher from there by creating an inverse fair value gap. However, instead, it actually dumped even lower, and it officially became bearish, 100% bearish. There was no bullish momentum. The sellers were fully in control. And yes, Ariane, you're absolutely right. BTC was pumping. It's pumping quite nicely, actually. So let's see what we can take out of this whole situation with the charts. All right. We have seen another relative equal low that's being formed right now. Okay. I mean, it's already formed. It's just passed, actually. Okay. We are officially in a bearish trend. This is what happened yesterday. Okay. But then, interestingly enough, at 9 a.m., the market is completely reversed, and it's taken out a 4-hour lower high. Now that it's taken out a 4-hour lower high, you can clearly see that the bullish momentum has come in very nicely. I could say that investors sought confidence right over here. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is the point where the lower high was taken out. Right there. It's a nice, clean move. And because of that, you can clearly see that there has been displacement candles, which also created an imbalance, which is proof of institutional activity. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very, very nice sign, followed by another bullish displacement candle, which has taken out quite a few highs over here. So, that being said, price has done a liquidity sweep. Price has come down. It took out this lower high, and then it got rejected at the same level. Let's see. Let's see how clean this rejection was. All right, over here, over here, over here. It was not the cleanest I would hope to see. Perhaps maybe we can take a look on the 1 hour time frame. Maybe we can see a cleaner move. Yes, you could see it a lot better on the 1 hour time frame. So you can see over here, this candle got rejected over here, and then this candle closed inside of it. It extended, it passed the line. However, it extended the rejection wick, which again gets extended. So overall, price has been respecting this level over here. So if I'm going to go on the 1 hour time frame, I'd like to mark my imbalances on the 1 hour time frame only because I find it to be a lot more formidable, a lot more stronger than the 4 hour. Because the 1 hour time frame is the best for imbalances, but then the 4 hour time frame is the best for market structure. So that being said, there is a high chance, very high chance that price might come back over here. Now we can see if we can draw a 1 hour demand zone. We need to find a demand zone over here, guys. Do we see a demand zone? Yes, we do. We see a powerful impulsive move over here and the last previous red candle. I like to draw my demand zones on the 1 hour time frame as well, so we're going to mark that over here. All right, in fact, I'm going to extend this to the right. All right, and put it in text, demand zone. So we have a new demand zone, which is where a lot of buyers are looking to get into the market from right over here. And over here, it is the 1 hour FVG. All right. So that being said, we've got our imbalances set up. Let me lock in the charts. We've got our imbalances set up, and we also have our demand zone. So I'm expecting price to definitely come back down within this range over here before it goes higher. So it could enter the consolidation box again, it might go higher, but before it goes higher, it's going to need to come back down here and collect liquidity one last time before it goes any higher. So overall, this is actually looking pretty good, guys. On the 4 hour time frame, this is looking good. So we're going to have a few things. Let me write down. Number one is we have relative equal lows. Okay, over here, this is your number one, relative equal low. Number two, we have a 1 hour 1 hour clear rejection. We have a 1 hour and also a 4 hour imbalance. We've got multiple displacement candles, and last but not least, we have a demand zone, which equates to buyers entering the market. So that is what Bitcoin is looking like right now, guys. Spacing it over here. Right, so this is what it looks like, guys. We got relative equal lows over here. Let me move that up here. We got relative equal lows over here. Change this to bullish because now we are officially bullish. Okay, so we got relative equal lows over here, which is a strong sign of resistance. We've got a 1 hour clean rejection. Okay, we go on the 1 hour time frame. I'll show you guys. We got a 1 hour and 4 hour imbalance, and we've got multiple displacement candles on the 4 hour and the 1 hour time frame. And last but not least, we also have a demand zone, which is where a lot of people are going to be setting their entry orders, which is where they're going to be waiting to get into a long trade, probably all the way up to 100K. Buyers are definitely entering the market. Definitely, absolutely, buyers are definitely entering the market. So if we're going to mark the recent swing high over here, okay, you're going to probably see volume is spiking at the lowest point. Yes, we see that. Let's go aim a little bit higher. Or actually, let's just turn on the... I didn't have it added. Maybe I can add it now. Volume profile. Let's see. The volume profile. This is probably where price is going to get rejected over here, but this is the bottom side. This is where the bottom is. This is likely, this line over here, this is very likely where price is going to go down to, this level over here at 62,200. It's very likely price is going to come down there with a nice clean liquidity sweep before it starts aiming higher. Because you can already start to see the rejection effect. And what do I mean by that? You can start to see that price has reached the consolidation zone again. It's literally just entered the range of the consolidation zone. As you can see, look at that. It's literally reached it. It's rejecting, and it's possibly going to be coming down now into the imbalances. Probably for this Asian session and the London session is going to be coming down to be filling out all the imbalances that it's left behind. However, there is also another thing that could happen. Price could also reach exactly at the 50% point of this massive imbalance before aiming higher. It might actually reach all the way here before it targets even higher. So for me personally, I'm looking to enter a buy trade in this middle range over here. In this middle range, I'm thinking to enter a buy trade. All right, I'm going to open up my my exchange so I can log in my details and then actually have my setups all ready to possibly look for trades today. So bear with me a couple of seconds. Finally log in to find any setups that might be coming in today, because the move down might be very quick, faster than I even anticipated. So let's see what happens. Alrighty, so how are we feeling, guys? Are we taking any trades today? Anybody has an open trade? Did anyone enter a early buy position? If anyone's entered a buy position already, you should be holding on to it. In fact, you might even be better off adding to those wins, because it's going to be a nice bullish move from here. I've got a nice feeling about it. Okay, so let's see what we have on the other charts. So this is Bitcoin now. Who's ready to see what happened to gold? Gold looks like it is bullish. It's had a nice bullish move. Alrighty. So I've entered this trade yesterday. I remember catching some pips over here. I didn't take much. I've entered at this sweep over here, and I've secured up until here, and then I did not take it any further. But we can clearly see that the price has come back down to the higher high over here, right? And then it's actually done a nice liquidity sweep, just a nice rejection. Like price came down just to fill all the resting orders over here before aiming higher, and it looks like it's starting the day nicely. It's already up by 1%. I mean, almost 1% today. We'll wait for the right place to buy. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. If you're already in a buy trade, you should be holding it. But if you're looking for a good place to buy, it'll be down over here. Okay, either it's the 50% point of this 4-hour candle, just the 50% point. But don't enter too heavy. Just enter a small like a small lot size, simply because your stop loss is going to be all the way down here, right? If your stop loss is going to be down here, you want to target, like, you know, up here, 74K at least. So if you're going to be targeting all the way up here, you don't want to enter heavy if you're having a big stop loss. So keeping a small entry order is good, a very small one, just at least to get inside the market, and then you can double down once it gets into the demand zone over here on the 1-hour time frame. It's pretty straightforward. It looks pretty good. Price is consolidated because it's finally reached the area of consolidation. So it's going to be coming back down before making a big move. And this is pretty nice. From 64K to 66K within 5 minutes. I mean, this is literally 5 minutes, and price took off by around $2,000. All right, so let's take a look at gold and break it down. So what do we have over here? Price has come down to fill this higher high over here, which is a nice healthy indication the price is going to go higher. It literally came down into the higher high over here, and then it just completely went and taken off there. In fact, it was such a clean move that price actually came down, and the 5-minute candle had two clear rejections, one sweep and one rejection, and this would have been the perfect place to buy right here. For anyone who was on the charts at this time looking at price action doing this, this is the cleanest move with this, the best possible risk to reward ratio. You could have literally had a stop loss right underneath over here, and you could have secured all of this by now. You could have been up by 10-to-1 risk to reward ratio by now if you were awake at that time to enter. You could also see a nice clean rejection on the 15-minute time frame. Let's see the 30-minute time frame. Everything looks pretty clean. Gold has been having clean moves. These are really clean moves by gold. Very clean moves. All right, so I have noticed that this line over here has been broken into multiple times. So since it's not being respected multiple times, safe to say that we can remove it right now, because this is the new higher low that we have over here. This is the new higher low. So this is where I'll be extending the price a little bit to the left, right? 4-hour short-term low. All right, so Ariane, do you trade gold by any chance, or is it just Bitcoin and Ethereum? Because I remember you talked about Ethereum and you obviously do Bitcoin, but do you also take a look at gold? Gold has some really nice liquidity, so perhaps this might actually be a fun place for you to, it's a nice playground, let me put it that way. It's a really nice, fun playground. Seems like gold is struggling to go higher over here. There is rejection wick after rejection wick, even though there was a sweep here. Looks like it's struggling, so it might even come back down to fill any orders over here. So now let's take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum has done a nice power play. Ethereum has done a nice power play on the 4-hour time frame. It did take out, I mean, this move has already done over here. On the 4-hour time frame, you can clearly see that the lower high was taken out. So we'll mark that right here. All right, we will mark that right over here. All right, and then we'll set it as lower high taken out. Right there. Okay. Now that the lower high was taken out, you could see that there is a sweep, and then there was a nice bullish engulfing candle. Price was rejecting a little bit, but then this move happened. So Bitcoin went higher, and so did Ethereum. So we'll take a look at that at a 1-hour time frame. You could see that it went higher right over here. Only a few times on gold. Okay, if you take a look at gold more than a few times, you're going to be able to see that price is actually moving in a very nice, clean fashion, just like it is with Bitcoin. Gold is a lot more stable. Bitcoin is very liquid. Gold is a lot more stable. If there's a trend, it usually lasts for a long time. So you can always add to your wins with gold. Bitcoin, it does a lot of sweeps, which is really good for liquidity traders. So you have the best of both worlds. Now, looking back at Ethereum, you can see that the lower high is taken out over here. It left a tiny imbalance. I mean, it doesn't even count. I would say it's not really powerful on a 1-hour time frame. However, this is where a lot of orders are going to be placed, simply because this is where the lower high was taken out. Secondly, you can see that this move has rejected off of the consolidation zone. Now, that's not exactly a really good sign, because what we want to see is price closing above this level over here. But instead, price came up and it rejected it quite aggressively, actually, and now it looks like it's coming back down. So Ethereum, even though it has taken out a lower high, I won't twist my tongue and say it's bullish just yet. I'll change it to bearish with bullish momentum, because the buyers are trying to push it higher now. You can definitely see that for sure. But has it created an imbalance on the 1-hour time frame? I don't see it. there is no imbalances on the 1 hour time frame. And on the 4 hour time frame, there is a tiny imbalance, but these tiny imbalances are not really secured. You know, I don't feel really confident with that. So overall, I'm still skeptical about Ethereum. This is just a reaction off of Bitcoin going higher after 2 consecutive days. I mean, we've been looking at the news, right? Yesterday we saw everything was dumping by 3%, by 4%, by 5%. And the day before, the same thing, by 5%, by 6%. So it's been dumping quite a lot for the past few days. But then if you're looking at price right now, you're going to see it's finally taking out because a lot of buyers are entering into the market at this point of time. So now we can say with confidence that the buyers have indeed entered the market. Ethereum is seeing a nice 3% increase for today. So let's see what happens in the coming hours, probably into New York session. It might even go higher inside the consolidation box. We want it to reach at least to 2030. That's where we're targeting, or at least 2000. I mean, that's the ideal place where a lot of traders are speculating. Now let's take a look at the dollar. Dollar looks like it's ranging. You could see that it is ranging. There's not really a power play going on. You could see that it's actually going higher, but this imbalance was filled over here. And then this lower high was taken out. However, price has gone higher ever since, and it's come back into the uptrend. So it is overall bullish. The dollar is still bullish, but it's not actually making any significant moves. You can see that there are relative equal highs here. 1, 2, and 3. So there is potential for the dollar to actually come back down. And if the dollar comes down over here because of these relative equal highs, then we're going to be seeing a massive pump in the dollar. I mean, a massive pump in gold and a massive pump in Bitcoin, which is something we're already seeing right now. Okay, it looks like Bitcoin is coming down just to correct itself, to fill out all the imbalances it's left behind, which is completely normal at this point. And this is what's happening with gold, guys. We've had a nice break right now. This is technically a break of structure. We had a nice break and it's left behind 2 imbalances. So what does that mean? That means today Bitcoin is no longer bearish. It is telling you guys that we are now bullish. The buyers have entered the market. Now, if you guys are looking to buy right now, this is not the best place to buy, because right now you can clearly see price is rejecting. It's coming back. It's retesting to the level where it actually broke out. So you don't want to be entering trades right now, but you got to be ready to take out trades soon, because things are going to get quite aggressive in the coming days. Why am I saying quite aggressive? It's because we've been in consolidation for quite some time, and price has finally come out of that consolidation buck and swept liquidity, and also creating relative equal lows. And because they're relative equal lows, which then created a 4-hour displacement candle that took out a lower high, these are all healthy signs that price is going to go higher, because now this is what I call institutional activity. Institutions have entered the market and they're looking to buy. They've already pushed the price higher, and now the rest of the retail traders, the ones who are profitable, who are actually consistently profitable, are waiting for price to come back down into this range over here, this demand zone. Once price comes back down over here, this is where I'll be going long. This is where I'll be aggressively buying. I already have my buy limit orders are set up. Everything is ready. And I'm just simply waiting for price to go higher from here. Because remember, guys, trading a break of structure, that means you're just buying the highs. You don't want to buy the highs. When you buy the highs, your risk factor increases by a lot. And you know, the thing about trading is, like, you got to understand this about trading. Trading simply means you need to have a very small stop loss, because the game is about staying in the game, staying in the race, staying in your trades as long as possible. You got to protect the big bag. You got to protect the big bag. Your portfolio needs to be protected. You're going to have quite a lot of stops getting hit, probably a lot more than stops. Like, you're going to have a lot more stops getting hit. Why is that? It's because your stops are going to be minuscule compared to your TP. You never want to have a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. It's not going to work. How are you going to be profitable that way? You need to have it at least 3-to-1, 2-to-1, 4-to-1, 5-to-1. And the smaller your risk is, the bigger your profit is. So that is why you need to find entries down over here. And if it doesn't happen, guys, guess what? It's okay. If price ends up taking out this high, there will be imbalances over here. Then you can also enter over there. If price ends up taking this high, there will be imbalances over here. Then you can take out that high. There are always going to be multiple points of entries for you guys. You don't need to trade when price has already made the move and it's already at the all-time high. It's not a great place to enter, and you're going to risk yourself all of this exposure. Doesn't it look better to enter price when it's entering the 1 hour fair value gap, and this is your stops and your target is like something like this, instead of entering over here where we are right now and having your stops being exposed that much? I mean, what if you're wrong? What if it comes back down? What if it becomes bearish again? What is this? I mean, this is really poor risk management, and that's not what you guys want to do. What you guys want to do is have an account that looks like this. So that's what my analysis is for Bitcoin. Now let's take a quick look at the stock market before we take a look at the news. So in NASDAQ right now, we've seen a play higher. So on the 4 hour time frame yesterday, price has gone actually higher, but there isn't much liquidity, as you can see. It's not really pushing. It's done a sweep over here, it's rejected, and then it started pushing higher. This is literally at New York Open. It's done a clean liquidity sweep. It swept liquidity here, and it's swept liquidity in all the people who put stop losses over here. And then it's entered over here, and it's gone all the way up ever since. But this isn't much liquidity, guys. This is quite weak. This is really weak price action movement. Let's take a look at the S&P 500, and you can see pretty much the same thing. There's not much going on. In fact, this might even be a rejection. I mean, like I talked about this just yesterday. It feels like it's not a coincidence that the stock market is going, I mean, the stock market has consolidated at the same time Bitcoin has crashed. You guys can look at the charts and notice it for yourself. I mean, if you literally backtest it, you're going to notice something. S&P 500 has actually entered a consolidation box exactly on the same day Bitcoin started sharply dumping all the way in the end. So is that a coincidence? I'm not sure. Is it a coincidence that it started on October 7th, 2 years anniversary since the horrific attack that's happened in the Middle East that you probably guys know about? Is it a coincidence that all three of these things are all happening on the same day, October 7th? I'm not sure. I think it's a coincidence, but probably not. It's probably planned. So why is Bitcoin dumping all this time? Simply because the stock market is at its all-time high. If we look at it on a daily time frame, you can clearly see on the daily time frame, it is not going higher. It's entered a range of consolidation, and price is probably going to continue lower. And you can already see that on the 5-minute time frame. This was a nice imbalance over here, which price ends up filling between here and here. You can clearly see that. It's just entered it, it's filled it, it's probably going to go bearish from here. So they want the stock market to go down because it's already too high, and it's not a good place to buy. Investors are not feeling comfortable buying any stocks at an all-time high. This is not good for your trading portfolio to buy at an all-time high. Investors want price to come all the way down over here, or here, or here, or here, or here. Anywhere in these bottoms, all these bottoms that you guys see, that's where they're hoping that the stock market is going to go down to. So that's what I'm anticipating in these coming days for the US stock market, which is a good thing only because this means Bitcoin is going to go higher. Because where are the traders going to be investing? What is right now at an all-time high? The stock market and gold is at an all-time high. When you have the two most traded things at an all-time high, what's going to happen now is the investors are going to be more friendly towards something called Web3 cryptocurrency, which is Bitcoin, the mother of all crypto pairs. So this is right now at a very all-time low, and because it's reached a very, very low point at 63,000, you saw that the buyers have finally entered the market. And now the buyers have finally entered the market, price is going to go higher from here. And worst case scenario, if it comes back down, it's just going to collect more liquidity at the 60K range. But if it breaks below 60K, then we are really in trouble, because then it's going to target 50K, 49.785, but that's 50K. Then that's where it should be taking higher if it goes any lower. But if it goes even lower, then it cannot go beyond this point over here, 27,000. 27,000 is where there is a massive 4-hour displacement candle. I mean, if you guys want to see it, we can go all the way back. You're going to see a massive imbalance over here. This is the lowest imbalance in the history of Bitcoin, right over here. Okay, this is the lowest imbalance on the daily time frame. It's got the lowest imbalance. The price is probably going to rebalance if it goes down. For all the people out there who are saying Bitcoin is going to go to zero, it's very impossible for it to go to zero, because a lot of people are already using it to their everyday life. Everyone's using Bitcoin these days. So you're going to see that price, if it does keep dumping, which I don't think so, it's very unlikely, it's either going to go down to 50,000 or 59,000. These are the two the demand zones right now where price is likely going to go. But if it continues dumping, or people are going to start panicking about it, this is where I'm going to be full margin buying, because that's the only place where there's a daily imbalance before price started taking off to crazy new heights. But is that going to happen? I would give it a 20% chance. 20% chance is quite low, so that's what I think. But I'm going to give a 80% chance that price is going to come down into this demand zone between 63,200 and 62,400. That's my bias for Bitcoin. Now, let's take a look at news. All right, let's open the news and take a look at what's happening in the world today. All right, so first things first is we have, let's see. First things first is we have, today we got President Trump. He spoke. I did not get to see his speech, to be honest, but we're going to be seeing what has come out of his news. So Trump, fallen prices akin to another large tax cut. So that means Trump is doing a big, large tax cut, right? Working hard to end the Russian-Ukrainian war. So the fact that he's working hard, so he's probably talked about it in his speech. He probably said, guys, I'm looking to end the war in Ukraine. It's tiring, it's exhausting. It's been 4 years. I mean, we literally just, yesterday was officially 4 years since the Russia-Ukraine war has started. And because it's a 4-year anniversary, a lot of politicians will come back and reflect, and they're going to think, okay, it's been some time. We've spent a lot of money in this war. We've invested a lot in defense. We've invested a lot. A lot of lives have been lost. I mean, if we look at the statistics, there are up to 350,000 Russian soldiers who've lost their lives in these last 4 years, and up to 150,000 Ukrainians who have lost their lives. Yes, the Ukrainians have had far lower losses, but it's the same thing as World War II. If you look at World War II, you're going to notice that Russia has also lost a substantial amount of soldiers. They're a military machine. It's something that is known throughout history. They have a lot of soldiers that lose their lives, but they always end up winning the war, it seems. So, interesting. Tax cut. So when you have large tax cuts, this simply means that Trump is increasing, okay, he's increasing the spending of consumers. He wants consumers to spend. He wants consumers to borrow more money from the banks, because when you borrow more money, you spend more. And when there's less tax, there's more spending, which is good for the dollar. So that's what Trump is trying to do. And secondly, he's trying to end the war in Ukraine and Russia. So because he's trying to end the war in Ukraine and Russia, you're going to start seeing that the price is probably going to stabilize. You're probably going to see gold going lower, and you're probably going to start seeing Bitcoin going higher, right? So tariffs will remain in place. So you could see that Trump has come up with two things. Number one, large tax cuts to make lives easier for the average American. Two, also he's talking about ending the Russia-Ukraine war. So when he cuts tax from the average American, he's making up that money from the tax cuts. He's making up that money from the tariffs. So he's making money from the tariffs. So he's thinking like a businessman. Okay, I'll make my American locals spend less money in the economy. However, I'm gonna make international actors, international countries, international trade spend more money if we want them to actually trade inside the market. If we want them to trade inside the US, which is actually kind of smart if you think about it. And what else did he talk about? Trump secured commitments of $18 trillion from all over the world, and Trump has over 80 million barrels of Venezuelan oil. So Trump is basically making money for the Americans. He's secured tax cuts. He's committed to $18 trillion globally. We know that some of that, a huge chunk of it's coming from the Gulf countries. And yeah, it looks pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good for America. It's pretty good for the dollar. So since this is pretty good for the dollar, we look at the charts, we're probably going to start seeing gold going lower. So let's take a look at the charts once more. Let's go back to gold. All right. You could start to see the hesitation. This is what I was talking about earlier. This is what literally said that I felt like there's a hesitation and price is not going higher. I'm starting to see it right now. So as you can see, rejection, price going up, and then Trump spoke over here. When Trump started speaking, price went into a consolidation range, right? This is literally an hour ago. So you can see in the past hour, Trump literally spoke an hour ago. So its price is consolidating. Since this is good for the US dollar, because Trump is taking care of America and making America great again and making it the #1 country in the world by reducing tax, doing tax cuts to the average American so they can have money to spend on groceries, because they really had a massive inflated economy. People were not making more money, they were making less money, and taxes were high. So he's cut down the tax, and he's talking about ending the war in Ukraine as soon as possible. So when you have these two things, it's going to reduce the price of gold, which is why we're starting to see some consolidation over here. So we can even look at it on a smaller time frame. Ever since he started speaking, consolidation. It completely entered a consolidation move. So that is what's going on with the global news right now. Now let's see what else has happened. So President Trump spoke today, and then we've got USD news and it's crude oil. So we're going to be looking at oil a little bit later, and everything else is yellow folder. So that is the only red folder that happened today. And what did we find out is that the dollar is going to be doing good. Basically, that's basically to wrap it up on the dollar. Now let's look at the crypto market news, see what's happening over here. Let's climb all the way to the top. We can clearly see that AI NFT trades flat. Bonk holds tight range. Sky gains 3%. So you're going to start seeing people holding and gaining. Not much news has happened. It's been literally only 3 news came out. 30 minutes ago, 31 minutes ago, 2 hours ago, and then 11, 20, and 21. So not much has happened since we last spoke. So what did we last speak? OKB drops 3%, Ondo drops 3%, Chronos holds, and then things started gaining. You can start seeing 2 hours ago, stuff started gaining. So if I keep refreshing this every few hours, you're going to start seeing a lot of news of people talking about price is gaining. So this is really good for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as a whole. Now let's take a look at what's going on in the world over here. So we're going to see that I always use First Squawk. I mean, they literally tell me some immediate news. Like, they literally tell me good news immediately. So we're going to see what happened in First Squawk. Trump said vice president will lead a war on fraud and claimed the budget could be balanced if enough fraud is found. So what we know now is the JD Vance is probably going to be focusing on this. Trump literally said it. What else did Trump say? He said he's making it easier for Americans to save for retirement and announced a new retirement plan. How sweet of you, Donald J. Trump. That's very nice. I mean, that's important, right? We got to care about our older people. So, super important. Trump said he will match 401k contributions up to $1,000 each year and wants to ensure members of Congress cannot profit from inside information. This is a big topic of discussion that people have constantly been talking about, is that congressmen, people inside the government who are doing a lot of insider trading. Most notable ones is Nancy Pelosi. This is something very common that people knew about. Trump called on Congress to codify the most favored nation plan, negotiated a new ratepayer pledge on data center energy, and told big tech companies they need to provide their own power. And what else happened? Trump said the old power grid cannot handle electricity demand and called on Congress to ban investment firms from buying homes. So, a few more things. Trump stated the government's performing very well on affordability. Trump said beef prices starting to fall. Trump said big insurance companies got rich and their stock prices soared, and he wants to stop all payments to them. So this is another indication that Trump is attacking the stock market. He wants to have the stock market going down. Stuff like this is going to be bringing headlines on the stock market dumping pretty soon. Trump said most countries want to maintain existing trade deals, but warned that new agreements could be worse for other nations. He added that tariffs may be somewhat complex, but will not require congressional approval and could eventually replace income tax. This is big news because if Trump gets rid of income tax, guys, this is really good for the average American. They don't have to worry about income tax. I mean, if they're making, let's just say, $5,000 a month, they wouldn't need to pay income tax because income tax is probably taking $1,000 off of them. People pay a lot of money in the States for income tax. So if he's thinking about trade deals and tariffs to other countries, look, Trump is trying to do something. He's like, why should Americans pay? Why should the local Americans pay? America comes first. Our people come first. So if he's thinking that way, he's saying, okay, you guys want American products in the world? You like American tech companies? You like American AI? You like American this and that? Fine, pay extra. You guys who are international can pay extra while our local people don't have to pay for it, which is quite smart for the president. But is that going to be good overall? I don't know, because if Trump takes away income tax, then the Federal Reserve is not going to have that much money because they need the income tax. It's a huge chunk of money that's being taken away. So Trump did say quite a lot of things. So to wrap it up, that's basically everything that we see on the news live. Is that Trump is basically putting America first, as he has intended to do. So that is what's going on with global news. Now let's look at the charts. So based on everything that Trump has said, you could see that gold prices has consolidated. Literally, ever since his meeting, gold is consolidated. And you can see on a 1 minute time frame, price has just taken out this low. And now it's probably going to go even lower. You're going to start seeing price coming back down just to fill out any pending sell limit orders. Before it goes down, it's going to go up to fill any pending sell orders before it goes down. And then the same can be said about Bitcoin. We can start to see Bitcoin coming down. It's slowly reacting to what Trump has done. So we'll have to see about that. It's done a nice 2% increase today. So it's not bad for Bitcoin. So besides that, guys, we've already looked at the analysis for Bitcoin. We've looked at the analysis for gold. We've looked at the stock market. All right. You can see stock market has taken quite the hit. All right. It seems like it is going to be going lower on the higher time frame. So let's see what happens. All right, so we've talked about the stock market. Let's take a look at Forex. Well, how's Euro USD doing? Euro USD is quite in the consolidation zone. All right. We have lower highs. It's a downtrend. Price is taking out this high. It's coming back down. Consolidation. And it's probably looking like it wants to go higher. You can see relative equal lows. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a sweep over here, so price wants to go higher on Euro USD. Interesting, but on the daily time frame, there is a rejection. On the daily time frame, we are bearish. On the daily time frame, we are bearish. On the weekly time frame, we are, looks like bullish. Been in consolidation for quite some time. So let's take a look at GBP USD. It's a lot more healthier. All right, USD CAD looks like the US dollar wants to go higher. How's the German stock exchange? Looks like it's also in consolidation. What do you think, Ariane? Do you think Bitcoin's going to go higher from here? I love reading price action. I love reading it this time because this is just me preparing. Whenever I go on the charts at this time at night, I look at the charts and then I ask myself, what are the possible outcomes for London session? What are the possible outcomes for New York session? So with that, I'll be able to confidently say that price is going to be doing this, is going to be doing that, and whatever price ends up doing, I have the levels clearly marked. So wherever I enter trades or I exit trades, I already have an idea of where price is going. I'm not playing the guessing game. I can clearly see where price is and where it's heading. So that's what I'm excited to see happen in today's New York session. Today's New York session is going to have a clean move. It's going to react to Trump's speech. Absolutely. Trump is very bullish on the US dollar. So we're going to end up seeing Bitcoin coming down. This is what my anticipation. This is what I think. Bitcoin will come down on the 1 hour demand zone over here to fill any imbalances. It's going to be coming down to this higher low that was taken out. It might reject off of here and go higher. However, it might even go down over here. So for price to come down over here, I would give it 80% or 90%. For price to come down over here, I would say 80%. So 90%, 80% chance of price coming down over here. I'm feeling very confident it's going to go because I've seen this before. Over the years of looking at Bitcoin, I've seen this before. Price always comes down over here. And guys, if you want to understand how to trade, use the QR code that you see in this video. You'll be connected into our Discord community where you're going to be accessing mentorship with me. You'll learn how to trade, and you'll also get the ebook in case you're not interested in actually going and having the live sessions. You're going to have an ebook that shows you exactly how to enter and exit the market as an institutional trader. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, not much going on with Bitcoin, so we can leave that for now. Also, not much happening with gold. You can see it's still in consolidation zone. It is not leaving the zone. It's in a tight box. Let me get rid of the extension. It's in a tight box over here, so we'll need to speculate and see what happens on the 5-minute time frame, because the 5-minute time frame is always the best time frame to mark out consolidation boxes. All right, US Tech, it's done a sweep on a 5-minute time frame. Nothing interesting though. The sweep does not mean anything, only because we are on a lower time frame. We have price is probably going to go to the 50% point of this consolidation and go lower from there. So yeah, that's everything with crypto. Let's look at other coins. Let's take a look at Pepe coin. I haven't seen Pepe in a while. Let's see what's happening. Okay, so Pepe coin broke structure over here, and it's been going down ever since, and it's actually filled the imbalances that you can find over here. It's done a nice clean imbalance fill. Let's see. From here, and then need to extend this right. Pepe coin, it definitely filled, so it looks like it's bullish from here. You think Bitcoin will go higher? It's the trend. Yes, I also think so. Bitcoin is going to go higher. Absolutely. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. It's going to go higher. But the important thing is to know where to enter for Bitcoin. You got to enter at the 1 hour demand zone that I marked earlier. But for Pepe coin, it looks really good. Super nice. This would be the perfect sniper entry over here. And we're not that far off, so I mean, if you want to enter now, it's also not a bad place to enter. We're not far off at all. All right, let's see what else. What other coins we have. I remember we talked about Dogecoin yesterday, so let's take a look at Dogecoin. No, I didn't mean to do Doge. So DOG. Damn. Dogecoin really took a hit, didn't it, guys? Yeah, Dogecoin pretty took a massive hit. All right, let's take a look at Shiba. Shiba Inu. Shiba. I like Shiba. Shiba is always interesting. Shiba, let's do some analysis on Shiba. So we got 4-hour time frame over here. So Pepe looks good, Shiba looks good. There's a lot of rejections over here. Plenty of rejections. I don't see an imbalance, so let's take a look at the 1-hour time frame. There is one imbalance. I see it. Come on, there we go. Yeah, it's literally come down to the imbalance, but it's done even a small liquidity sweep. I wouldn't be surprised when these small meme coins, they do a lot of sweeps. They go way beyond the level sometime. But yeah, on a 1-hour time frame, it does look good. It does look like it is bullish. It's trying to carry out the bullish move with Bitcoin. So we'll see about that. We'll see how this candle closes. You can see price is not going lower. In fact, it's just consolidating over here. So it's a nice indication. It filled out a 1-hour imbalance, so it's probably going to go higher. On the daily time frame, overall bearish. Realistically, it's overall bearish, but there is bullish momentum. You can see price went higher over here, and then now it's rejecting off of this. So it might come down to this liquidity sweep. This would be the low of where it could go. Like this is the lowest point. We look at it on a 1-hour time frame. This is the lowest point it could go before going even higher. It's quite possible. It's not impossible. It's quite possible. So yeah, Oriana, I agree. I think Bitcoin is definitely going to go higher from here. Based off of Trump's news, Trump has said a lot about America first, America great, putting the dollar first, tax cuts so that there's more consumer spending, so that boosts the dollar, and also talking about removing income tax, which is also going to increase the spending of the average American. So it'll be interesting to be looking at that. Now, also, let's take a look at Solana. Let's see what's happening in Solana. All right, price is in consolidation box, and it's actually rejected quite nicely inside the box. A very nice rejection. You can see it on the 5-minute time frame very nicely. See it on the 1-hour time frame very nicely. I mean, these are multiple. This is a lot of rejection. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. These are 12. Actually, I missed one. That's 13. 13 rejections that's happened. That's really nice. 13 rejections inside the consolidation box's low. So this means price has taken off from there. It's done a nice aggressive move. So this is a very nice healthy sign that Solana is officially bullish. It's a very good sign. Very good sign for Solana, guys. Super good sign. It's still overall bearish, but it's a very good sign. What we want to see is price taking out this high over here, this lower high at 94.539. That's the high we want to see Solana take for price to go higher. But since we're seeing rejections over here and here and here, these are relative equal lows. So I'm going to mark that over here. Equal low plus um 1-hour time frame multiple rejections. rejecting inside the edge of the consolidation box. Number 4, displacement candles, which means institutional footprint. So this is really good for Solana. Really, really good. Are there any other coins you guys want me to take a look at? Any other coins? We're about to wrap up the stream, guys. Is there any other coins you want me to take a look at? How's Tesla doing? It's okay. Tesla's doing fine. Nvidia is in consolidation. I think Nvidia has really reached its peak and it's just consolidating at this point. No clear structure. Market's closed now though, so yeah, so the dollar is going to be looking pretty bullish. I mean, on a 5-minute time frame, you can see that it's done a bullish engulfing candle with displacement, and it's also filled the imbalance. So overall, I would say bullish. Yes, I left it over there. Overall, the dollar is bullish. All right, guys, I think I'm going to be wrapping it up over here. So we've done analysis for Bitcoin, we've done analysis for gold, we've done analysis for all the other smaller coins. We've also looked at Forex, we've also looked at indices. So indices overall looks bearish. Trump has actually talked about going against the stock market. And gold looks like it's also going to start being bearish, even though gold is overall bullish. It does have a nice bullish trend because, I mean, it's already in an uptrend. It looks bullish. However, based off of Trump's speech, gold has entered a consolidation zone. It's probably aiming to go lower. But keep in mind, gold is a commodity. So it's going to react quite aggressively to any global affairs, any political effect, like when there is war or anything escalating in any region in the world, gold is going to go higher. So that being said, that is also a factor based on. So Trump's speech, gold is going to go lower. Realistically, the world, if there's any problems in the world or anything happening, gold is going to go higher. And since Trump talked about peace with Ukraine and Russia, it's consolidated. This is the only reason why it's actually entered a consolidation right now. There's no other reason. It's overall bullish, but it's entered a consolidation stage when Trump said peace, and he's preaching peace with Russia. So that is your analysis for gold. And overall, crypto is looking good. This is the cheap point right now where people can buy when it's low. And the indices, stock market is going to look for going lower. It's probably going to dump in the coming weeks. And yeah, overall, things are looking good for the US dollar. Guys, you want to learn how to trade and know how to read price action, know how to look at the charts and read these things. The links are in the bio, and also you can use the QR code and get in touch with me, where you're going to be able to trade actively with me, and you're going to be able to take live trades, also learn from me, also have institutional trading styles taught to you, how to do institutional trading strategies, and you're going to get ebooks on how to do these strategies one by one. And overall, guys, it's just a nice community of active traders where you're going to be able to share your analysis and your thoughts and questions, and you'll get feedback from me directly. I'll be back again tomorrow. Perhaps I'll be doing some live trades tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm expecting price to go into the 1 hour demand zone. And since that's the case, this is where I'm going to be looking to long the market, and I'll be live trading with you guys definitely tomorrow if price comes down into this range. And it already looks like it's on its way. So I'm super pumped, super excited about that. I'll see you guys tomorrow.